Oh, there's actually, there was 3 of them here. Oh, there's 4 of them here. Well, here's your problem. That's why they're stressed out. Look at that bad boy. It was 4. So I just cut my bok choy out. There's actually 4 plants in that little pod, so obviously that's overcrowded. That's why it was getting stressed out. I think that's why the pests were getting after it. But I wanted to point out something here with my roots. Check out how white and clean they are. And that is a great sign that my filter that I just upgraded is working really well. It's doing its job. And the bubbles underneath the raft help with that as well. But awesome plant growth here. Looks really good. Stringy and healthy. That's what you want to see if you're doing aquaponics. You don't want mucky, dirty, gunky roots. Because if they get that way, then they won't be able to bring up the air they need to grow well. So yeah, that's a really, really good sign. So now that I have the plants that were the most affected by the spider mites out of here, I do want to go ahead and, just for the sake of keeping them from traveling elsewhere, I'm going to go ahead and treat the rest of the plants. And all this is a couple teaspoons of Dawn dish soap and some water. It works pretty good as a pesticide, and it's very mild. You cannot use actual pesticides in an aquaponic system, because if it gets in the water, it will kill your fish. So Dawn is a really good alternative because it's very mild, and as we've seen on all their commercials, they use it in applications where, you know, they're cleaning up some wildlife or whatever, and they want it to be mild and not harmful to them. So what I'll do is I'll hose everything down pretty heavy. Get on the underside. I'm going to really hit the spot where those guys are hanging out too. Then I'll just give it a little bit, 4 or 5 minutes. And then what I like to do is go back through and rinse it off with some, just some clean water, just to get the soap off of the plants, because I don't really want my salads to taste like Dawn dish soap. So I like to give them a rinse instead of having that stuff just stay on there until it dries. So that's what we'll be doing now. So now I'll come through and give everybody a rinse. It gets the dead bugs and the soap suds off of everything. And you know, the Dawn dish soap's not going to kill them all. It's not going to remove all of the pests for you. It is only going to curb them. It's going to slow them down and make it so that they don't become an absolute problem. But to really, you know, keep them from being a continual problem, you would either have to introduce some some predators, some type of beneficial bug that will come in and eat them. Or, can't really see what I'm doing here. Or you just got to keep removing the plants that have them, and you know, then you're always kind of taking stuff out of the garden. So with aquaponics, it's kind of like an ebb and flow battle a little bit, where there will be times where the pests kind of get a little bit heavy, and then you'll have to be a little bit more diligent about doing things like this. And then other times, you know, it won't be an issue at all. So the thing to remember with aquaponics is that you're really creating an ecosystem. And so in this indoor ecosystem, I don't have the benefit of just having the random predator bugs that show up to take care of a pest bug. And so I may have a scenario where I might need to call a company and introduce them, or maybe even just learn to live with them a little bit and just deal with it. So that's what I'm doing currently. Since this is in my basement, I don't necessarily want to introduce more bugs. So yeah, I tend to pull the plants that seem to get heavily infested and treat with some Dawn dish soap, and that usually curbs the problem for a while. But aside from doing things like that, you really are, you know, you're stuck with having some pests sometimes, because this is a great environment for things to grow, and that includes bugs. So any garden is going to have some type of pest, but with an outdoor garden, you usually have some kind of predator to come in and help your battle with the unwanted bugs. So when we don't have predator pests, we have to have interventions of ourselves, integrated pest prevention, and that's what we do. So we visually inspect, we look for the places where they like to hang out, and then we treat it. All right, everyone, hope this helps. Keep growing. Oh, there's actually, there was 3 of them here. Oh, there's 4 of them here. Well, here's your problem. That's why they're stressed out. For that bad boy. It was 4.